In this series of videos teaching about parenting autistic children, I'll draw on my professional experience of supporting over 1,000 families and working with children and families for over 20 years, as well as my personal experience as an autistic individual. In this video, I'll share about the importance of relaxation. Relaxation is one of the most important skills someone can learn. Children feed off the emotions of their parents, even autistic children. And in my experience, children with ADHD seem even more likely to feed off of others' emotions. High levels of emotion reduce the activity of the higher parts of the brain. So when someone's getting stressed, anxious, or angry, or any other strong emotion, they'll see the world rigidly, and their ability to think flexibly will decrease. They'll be more likely to see just one point of view, increasing the likelihood that they'll make poor decisions. For parents, they may find themselves shouting at their child rather than talking calmly. They're more likely to fall into conflict rather than a collaborative relationship. There are many different ways that you can relax, and there are a couple of different ways to look at relaxation. There are techniques which can be done to be more relaxed generally, and techniques you can do to relax when you are starting to feel emotions increasing. Something people often say to me is they have no time to relax. In my work with parents, I always advise giving time for themselves at different times of the day. So it could be that it has been a tough day at work, and after work, the parent is heading to pick up a child from school. I recommend that the parent takes just a couple of minutes, or longer if possible, to relax before collecting their child. So it could be that they park their car just around the corner from the school and do a quick relaxation technique, or meditate, or listen to the radio briefly, or whatever helps them to relax, to separate and compartmentalize the day that they've had at work from their time with their child or children. If they're finding things stressful at home and can't get out of the house, then is it possible to go to the bathroom for a couple of minutes, sit on the toilet and relax before getting back to dealing with the children? When I worked in residential children's homes, this is something I used to do often because we worked a minimum 24-hour shift and didn't get breaks. And although, like in family homes, the children would come to the bathroom and start knocking and trying to get your attention, if you timed it right, you could get a couple of minutes of your own space. Often, this brief break would be enough to last another couple of hours of managing the children or teens. General relaxation. If you take a scale, say 1 to 10, then ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being most stressed, how stressed are you? And you answer that you'll say a 7. Then anything else happening is very likely to tip you into unmanageable stress. Just 3 points more stress and you'll be at a 10 out of 10. Whereas if you have had the same stressful day, but you find a way to relax before carrying on with your evening, and you get yourself from a 7 out of 10 down to 3 out of 10, now the same 3 points only raises your stress level to 6 out of 10. Still less stressed than you felt before the evening. This means you'll still be better able to handle situations, think clearly, and make good decisions. Some techniques which work well for general relaxation include meditation. Meditation takes 2 general forms, focused and mindful. With focused meditation, you're focusing in on one point and keeping your focus on that point. And if your attention strays, as soon as you recognize this, you bring your attention back again. Mindfulness meditation is about being present and not focusing specifically on any one thing. There is one warning in relation to mindfulness meditation which I don't often see mentioned, and that is that it can sometimes lead to people experiencing uncomfortable emotions. Traditionally, meditation wasn't about relaxation. Many people find it relaxing, but that isn't the purpose of it. With mindfulness meditation, the idea is to just observe ongoing experience. If that current experience is upsetting, thoughts perhaps, or anxiety or anger, then these thoughts can appear stronger because you aren't doing anything to distract yourself from them or to push them away. The idea is that you aren't attaching to the thoughts and feelings of your current ongoing experience, but if you are a beginner to mindfulness meditation, it's common to struggle to detach and just accept that those ideas are there. With practice, you can get used to detaching yourself from the ongoing experience, and when you're detached, you enter a relaxed mind-body state because you aren't connecting with any emotions. As you develop this skill, not only will you find general levels of relaxation increasing, but you will also be able to handle emotionally arousing situations better as well. There isn't a secret formula to meditation. It's easier to do in a quiet, dimly lit place and with your eyes closed, but this isn't essential. And it is useful if you practice using it in everyday life. So if you're walking along, rather than talking to yourself, pay attention to many different things and practice meditative walking. As you're walking along, either focus on the walking or just walk along being mindful, not specifically focusing on the walking, but not talking to yourself, and letting any thoughts which happen to spontaneously arise drift into consciousness and back away again, without addressing them or doing anything with them. This state of mind is often described as a flow state. It's common for sports players to describe being in the zone, where they're just aware, not thinking about what they need to do or any other thoughts or ideas. They were just in the moment, reacting to the moment. This is when people often perform most optimally. Doing meditation like this and making it a part of everyday life and routine has huge benefits. It can be challenging to begin with, but like anything else, it gets easier with practice. Another way you can meditate to relax is to use guided meditation. This can be done by just closing your eyes and imagining something, but it's easier if the guided meditation is audio recorded so that you can listen along. This helps to prevent having to focus on what you are supposed to do. Unlike meditation as just described, guided meditations can be done specifically to help you to relax. They usually take the form of a journey, or they have transitions of some sort. Journeys and transitions deepen the experience. People prefer different things, and there's a lot of variety, so if one thing doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean something else won't work instead. Some people respond well to pretty much any guided meditation, others like it just right. For example, I prefer guided meditations spoken by a deep male voice. I like meditations with sound effects, the sound of being on a beach, if it's a beach meditation, for example. I like meditations which are slow, with plenty of silence, which also deepens the state. But someone else may prefer meditations by women, or they may not like sound effects or music in the meditation, and they may prefer something which is faster paced. It's about trying a variety of different meditations and finding out what you like. You can also obviously record your own. Some meditations focus on journeys or transitions, like walking along a beach or through the woods, or travelling down a river through a jungle. Or a transition could be something like walking through an art gallery and stepping into a painting, or walking through the woods and finding and entering a hut, or walking through the Arctic and entering an igloo. Another approach is for the journey to be through your body. Generally, meditations involving your body can be good for helping with relaxation. This type of approach is commonly called progressive muscle relaxation. There are different ways you can do this, and as with other guided meditations, you can either guide yourself or use an audio recording. Again, you'll want to find a recording which has the pace and approach suited to you. I personally prefer the focus to be from the top down, as to me, this implies going deeper and relaxing more, whereas going from the feet up feels like it's the wrong way round. So as I talk about it here, I'll talk about the head down rather than feet up. One approach is to focus on each part of your body in turn, and then with a relaxing, deep out breath, you let your focus move down to the next part of your body. So you focus on the top of your head, taking a deep breath in, then pause a moment, then give a deep breath out, and let the focus move down to your face. And you repeat this all the way down to your toes. Another approach can be to tense up each body part as you focus on it. This is good if you already have some tension there. So you focus on top of your head, you scrunch up your forehead and face. You hold that tension for a few seconds, and then you let that tension go, and let your focus of attention move to your neck, and keep repeating this all the way down through your body to your feet. You can imagine a light passing through your body from the top of your head down, with each part of your body relaxing as the light passes through that part of the body. This could be a white light or different coloured light, or if you wanted to, it could be focusing on light passing through the chakras of your body, with the light changing and a sense of it cleansing your body as it goes. Relaxing hobbies and interests. If there is something you do which helps you to relax, then this could be it for you. So, if you find running or exercising relaxes you, then you could make more time to do this. If listening to certain music helps to relax you, then you can find time to listen to this and make it a time you can focus on just listening to the music, where you won't be disturbed by other things. If it's reading, then you can find time when you won't be disturbed and just focus on reading. Self-hypnosis. Something else you can do to relax is self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis is very similar to meditation. The main difference is that meditation traditionally isn't directive. There isn't a goal as such. It is more about experience. Self-hypnosis, on the other hand, is usually directive. You do it for a purpose or goal. With self-hypnosis, you can either do it to yourself, or, like with the meditation, you can follow along to someone else guiding you through the experience. If you're doing it for yourself, then you can either follow a structured approach, like where you begin focusing on a spot on a wall and noticing 3 things that you can see, 3 things you can hear, and 3 things you can feel. Then repeating this with your eyes closed. Then opening your eyes again and noticing 2 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, and 2 things you can feel. Then closing your eyes and repeating this. Then opening your eyes and noticing 1 thing you can see, 1 thing you can hear, and 1 thing you can feel. Then closing your eyes and repeating this. Once you have done this, you could let your focus drift to what you hope to achieve. So it could be just to relax and enjoy the relaxation. Perhaps tell yourself you would like to learn how to be more relaxed in stressful situations. Then after about 15 minutes, you're likely to just drift out of the experience and open your eyes. And you could always set a timer if you prefer. There are other self-hypnosis techniques you can use, which are equally easy to do. Alternatively, you can listen to a guided self-hypnosis audio recording. Like with meditation, this has the advantage of allowing the listener to focus on just relaxing, rather than having to have a part of themselves trying to focus on the process and on what they need to do. A guided self-hypnosis audio recording is also likely to be able to guide you through mentally rehearsing different situations which make you feel stressed. There are also likely to be post-hypnotic suggestions for responding differently in the future. Post-hypnotic suggestions are ideas given during hypnosis to influence behaviour after the hypnosis has ended. So there could be a suggestion that in the future, when you enter a specific situation, you'll feel calm and relaxed. and this suggestion will increase the chances of responding in that way in those future situations. Like meditation, self-hypnosis isn't a quick fix. You're likely to need to listen to a self-hypnosis recording or use self-hypnosis often before you notice the benefits. The process of being hypnotized is likely to be a relaxing experience, and in my private practice, I find that if someone is hypnotized, they exit hypnosis feeling very relaxed and calm, even without suggestions for carrying on feeling relaxed. They feel far more relaxed for the rest of the day and often into the next day, and often report that they sleep really well that night. Therapeutic change, though, often requires some time and real life changes, not just a change of mind, so the listener may well need to change their behaviour as well. Relaxing in the moment. There are a number of different ways to relax in the moment, depending on the circumstances. 7-11 breathing. 7-11 breathing is where you breathe in counting to 7, pause for a moment, and then breathe out counting to 11. Breathing in activates the sympathetic nervous system, the stress response, and breathing out activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response. With 7-11 breathing, you're extending the out-breath, which encourages relaxation. In normal everyday life, your in-breaths and out-breaths are about even. When you panic, the in-breath is longer than the out-breath. If you check your pulse as you breathe slowly, you can notice the change to your pulse while you breathe, and notice that as you take a long breath in, your heart rate increases, and as you then take a long breath out, your heart rate slows down. 7-11 breathing can be done anywhere, anytime. It's one of my favourite techniques because it can be done without anyone else noticing. I remember working with a family where the daughter had anger problems, according to the school and the parent. The school sent her to their in-house anger management program for teens. They taught her to clench one of her fists when she was feeling stressed or angry, to hold her fist clenched for a few moments before relaxing the fist and letting the tension go. Unfortunately, this wasn't the best advice. It didn't help her relax, and the other more significant issue was that she had a reputation for hitting other students when they made her angry. So, when they were making her angry and they saw her clench her fist, they thought she was about to hit them. I taught her 7-11 breathing as a way she could relax without it being obvious to other students that she was doing a technique, and without anyone misinterpreting her behaviour. This had a huge impact on how she got on in school and at home with siblings and with her mum. Sitting down. Another way to relax yourself is to sit down, if it's safe obviously and possible to do so. When I used to work in residential children's homes with children and teens who were often very aggressive and violent, sitting down was one of the main tactics for managing their aggression. If I felt sitting down would put me at risk of harm, I wouldn't use this technique. But if the child or teen was just shouting aggressively and I didn't feel that they were likely to physically attack me, then I would sit. It's important to think about where you're sitting. So, although your decision to sit down has been based on the fact you don't perceive an immediate risk of harm to yourself or others, it's always best to be sensible. So, sit near an exit from the room. This way, if they decide to attack you, you can make it out of the room faster than they can get to you. Sit in a sensible location, again, so that you can move quickly if you need to do so. Don't sit on a low, soft sofa, which you perhaps would sink into when you sit down, because this will likely help you to feel calm and relaxed, but it will also be very difficult to get out of that sofa quickly if you needed to move fast. So you may decide in a situation like that to sit on an arm of a chair while you talk, rather than fully sinking down into the sofa. There are certain actions which increase anger in yourself and others. When we're angry, we want to make ourselves as big as we can and as intimidating as we can. If you're dealing with someone who is angry or anxious, doing any of these intimidating behaviours is going to increase their fight or flight response, making them angrier or more anxious. And if they feel trapped, it'll make them more likely to want to fight to escape the feeling of being trapped. When you feel yourself getting angry or anxious, it's helpful to take control of what you can about your behaviour. Your physical behaviour is one of those things you can control. When you sit down, you may be feeling angry, anxious or scared, and you may want to stand. But by controlling yourself and remaining seated, you'll start to calm down, as physically your body language isn't the body language of an angry, anxious or scared person. It's also good to talk with a calm and soft voice. Again, your voice is something you can control, so if you are talking calmly and in a relaxed manner, this will help you to relax. What's more, it's also something that helps the person who's being aggressive or who's feeling anxious to feel calmer and more relaxed. It's never advisable to tell the person to calm down, as this often aggravates people rather than having the intended effect of calming them. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.